Hey guys, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again, and today we're going to talk about some things that I recently got for review from Mill Creek. So Mill Creek likes to send me stuff every now and then to do reviews for Geeky.com, and you will find reviews for each of these items up on Geeky.com very soon. There are actually two of them up right now, but I haven't finished the third one. I'll just go ahead and show you the third one first so that you know what we're dealing with here and just know a little bit about it. It is Future Cop here, the complete series of Future Cop. So sad considering that it was apparently only 6 episodes. I've never actually seen this series myself, but I've heard a lot of great things about it, or rather, well, I've heard about it. And I know there are a lot of people who actually love this series. Stars Ernest Borgnine. You may remember him from, well, he's done so many different things. I don't know exactly what you'd remember him from. I guess a lot of you, the younger fans, would probably remember him as Mermaid Man from SpongeBob SquarePants. But for me, I kind of more remember him from Poseidon Adventure. That actually is like the first thing I ever saw him in, and the 1972 one. And then what was it? The Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. He's a great actor, or was rather, just recently in the past few years passed away. But he had a great long life and a freaking fantastic. I'm just trying to think of the word. Fantastic career, right? Had a very nice career. And this was one of the things that was, well, maybe not as notable, but it's kind of interesting. It's like a sci-fi TV series that came out of the 70s, and they're just still playing with what a sci-fi TV series would be or could be or should be. And, trying to figure out what formula works, right? And apparently this one didn't, but it looks fairly interesting. It's kind of RoboCop meets, I guess, like $6 Million Man kind of thing in a lot of ways, and from what I can gather from it, at least. And yeah, this looks interesting. I will be doing a review of this, so I'll be checking it out. The nice thing about this set is that it includes the original TV pilot movie and 6 episodes, plus the bonus follow-up TV movie Cops and Robin. So there's actually some special features on this Mill Creek set, which I cannot say for the other things that I picked up or that I got for review from Mill Creek. But it's nice to know that at least they put some effort into this one, and it's also nice to know this about the packaging as I open it up here. Wait a minute. That's right, they do not stack the discs. On this particular set, they do not stack the discs on top of each other, which, of course, is very nice for collectors like you and me. So, yeah, this I will be sending to good friend Skinslip, and he's going to probably do his own review or whatever the hell he wants to with it, and, yeah. When it comes to being sent review copies and stuff like that, I figure, why not spread the love? Why not make sure that as many people as possible get to check it out? And, as many people as possible will be able to check it out if more than one person is doing a video on it and, of course, doing like a written review. So, anything I can do to help spread the word. The Future Cop, the complete series. I mean, Ernest Borgnine is awesome. They've also got John Amos in here. You probably are familiar with John Amos, you just don't realize it. But yes, Michael Shannon plays the Robot Cop, or Future Cop, as it were. Anyways, let's move on. Next up we have another one that Skinslip has told me he's going to do a video review of, and that is Dinotopia here on DVD, the complete series. I believe it's the complete series. This came from 2002, 2003, somewhere around there. And actually, the surprising thing about it is that the special effects are actually quite good in this series. the CGI. It's some of the best CGI I've seen for like a television series, especially something that was apparently produced by Hallmark Entertainment. I don't know if that actually is true, or if they just bought the rights and then sold the rights to Mill Creek. But whatever the case may be, it is definitely not. Uh, it's kind of like a low budget thing, and so for a low budget sci-fi show from the early to mid 2000s, the CG is actually quite impressive. But, and I say this with a but, it's like they put a lot of money into the CG, a lot of money they had into the CG, and then spent zero money on camera work, on cinematography, on any of that stuff. The sets look nice. The acting, some of it is really, really sketchy. The editing is horrendous. And when I say editing, I mean legitimately the editing. This was edited down from, you can tell, it was edited down from probably a 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio to 1.33 full screen to 1. But in the editing it down for the format, whoever did that editing, oh my god, it was atrocious. Like, there are scenes where there'll be movement, right? And they'll move off of the screen and they'll stop, and then the camera just like moves over automatically. This automatic tracking. I don't know who they got to press the button to make that happen, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty bad. And then they've got a lot of talking head syndrome in here, and I mean, it's definitely a curio. It's an interesting little curiosity from the era, and Dinotopia is kind of a cool concept, but I would watch this more for a laugh and not for seriousness. If you actually have fond memories of this series, check it out again and tell me if you still feel that way. It might just be nostalgia speaking. This, having recently seen the first episode or two, just no. It's funny in that it's cheesy, but other than the cheese factor, there's not much there. So I don't know. If you like Dinotopia, go tell me to go fuck myself. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts on that. I actually did a review and gave it a very kind review, I will say, because I think there is value to Dinotopia. I just, not my particular cup of tea, and that's why I'm sending it to Brandon, to Skin Slip. Skin Slip actually does like the series, so yeah, there you go. Last but not least is the one that I was probably happiest to receive, and one that will be staying in my collection because I absolutely love this movie. Gave it a glowing review because it was deserving of it, and that is My Boyfriend's Back here on Blu-ray for the first time ever, I might add. This is one of those genre movies from the early to mid 90s that a lot of people have forgotten about, but is actually still quite entertaining. I liken it to a lot of movies like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That one was from like the early 90s, and it was pretty much forgotten by time and hasn't come to Blu-ray. And I honestly would hope that Mill Creek would think about putting that one out too, because it's definitely worthy of it. My Boyfriend's Back is, surprisingly holds up very well. I would have thought that a lot of the things that I liked when I was a kid, I look at it now and I'm like, in hindsight, it wasn't that great. When I look at it now as an adult with a more, a refined palate, we'll say, a lot of those things I say to myself, yeah, that's not nearly as good as I remember it being. But I watched My Boyfriend's Back for the review, and I tell you what, it's just as good, if not possibly even better. There are a lot of like little issues here and there, not for the filmmaking, but like there are a lot of issues if you are triggered by things like sexism and whatnot, because there's a scene in this movie in particular where and within the span of like a few minutes, This young woman gets called a slut, a whore, and a litany of other, like, completely sexist names, completely fucked up names to be calling somebody for such a stupid reason. And granted, it's a silly movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously, mind you. But, you know, just the fact that that was like the first thing that they jumped to me was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I know it's like it's an older movie. You're going to find that kind of thing, especially in a genre film. But it was just like, you know, you didn't. They picked and choose. They what they did is they pick and choose things from the genre to go into their horror comedy movie, and they didn't go all out with everything. They could have gone full George Romero with creep show kind of style to it, but they didn't. They went like halfway George Romero, half Woody Allen, the way I put it. And there are certain things that like it's like you didn't. Did you have to pick and choose those elements? Couldn't you have picked and chosen different elements that were actually, you know, great? And that's my one criticism about the movie, because I will say this: I still laughed my ass off at a lot of the lines in this movie. There's one line in this movie where he's talking to the girl and he's like, "It's because I'm dead, isn't it?" And I just I broke out laughing because it's just one of the most ridiculous lines I've ever heard in a movie. Number one, number two, it's hilarious. Of course, it's referencing the whole "it's because I'm black, isn't it?" you know, racist kind of joke, and they're kind of playing on that kind of thing in this movie. That being said, there's not really anybody who isn't white in this movie, but you know, it's still an enjoyable movie. I still enjoy this movie. It makes me laugh. It's somewhat entertaining, and I love having it in my collection. But what I will say about this is, as with Dinotopia, which I forgot to mention, there's no special features on this. There's no special features on this. And when I say there's no special features on this, what I mean is there's not even a fucking closed captioning option. Believe me, I checked. There's actually no closed captioning on this disc. This is essentially a video file on a disc, alright? But what I will say about that video file is, it is absolutely, without question, the best the movie has ever looked. The colors are so bright and vivid. It's absolutely beautiful. The print is goddamn gorgeous. And it's worth every penny that you're going to pay for this absolutely bare bones disc. And especially considering you get the original artwork from like the poster here. You're getting, like, if you can see here, the painted artwork from the original poster. That's really nice to me. I think that's a nice little touch that they didn't necessarily have to do, but they did anyways, and it works very well. And if you look at the back here, you can see that the motif for the other box art from the DVD is here. And yeah, it's a fairly nice package. It is also not in one of the crappy Blu-ray cases. So, you know, oh, and of course there's, if I can spin this around here, there is disc art. I don't like that they put this up here, but I'll tell you what, we're probably not going to see this anymore, because Mill Creek recently killed their Mill Creek Direct website, and they had like a massive closing sale for Mill Creek Direct. So this ad for their direct, you know, sale site, you're not going to see it anymore because they don't even have that website anymore, right? They're not going to be running or selling anything on that website anymore. So what reason would they have to put that out on there anymore? They're not going to. More than likely, future releases, they're either going to have a different ad up here, a different thing up here, or nothing at all, and just the disc art, which would be very nice. And of course, I think a lot of collectors are going to be very thankful to see that. And honestly, I see something like this come from Mill Creek, and I think, you know, it's only a matter of time before they start putting other things out there that I've been waiting to see. Maybe they finally pick up Josh and Sam, eh? maybe all the effort that I've gone to save Josh and Sam was for naught. You know, maybe they go ahead and save the one I was just talking about. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. You know, there are a lot of movies from that time period in the 90s that have otherwise been forgotten, right? And they're, I wouldn't say they're necessarily genre movies, but they're kind of cult classics, and they're kind of cult classics in the way that they have been forgotten enough that Mill Creek might be able to attain the rights for them cheaply enough that they might be able to make some money off of it. So maybe that will actually happen. Who knows? I don't know. But I like what they're doing. They're making all the right moves with this kind of stuff. Now, I will say, I would love to see them start putting more special features on here, but as we probably all know, special features cost money. And Mill Creek is all about cutting costs, keeping things as low cost as possible. For example, you can currently get this on Amazon for $6.99, shipped to your house if you have Prime. So yeah, you're not even paying. Like, in my review, I compared it to I compared this bare bones release to the bare bones release of The Land Before Time. Right? They both have the same amount of special features, which is 0, but with The Land Before Time, you're paying a heftier price tag because it's coming directly from the studio. With something like this, not as well known of a title, but still something that people like you and me, genre fans, people who are old enough to remember this movie from back in the day, still something that we're going to be interested in picking up. It's $6.99, you know? So I really love that. I love that I can check out some of yesteryear's favorites on the cheapo from Mill Creek. So yeah, if you want a link to that, wink wink, nudge nudge, it'll be in the description thing, doobly-doo down there. So yeah, I'll probably put up a link to all 3 of these there. But feel no pressure whatsoever. Just throwing that out there. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Whatever. So yeah, got my Boyfriend's Back, Dinotopia, and Future Cop all here together, which all recently came out, I believe, last week. So yeah, you can get them all now. With that said, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.